Hi, welcome to Zgadgetreview. Sometimes when companies fail, we think, why? How did they get to that place? Especially if they're big companies with lots of resources. It's hard to fathom sometimes how they can get it so wrong. And one of those examples is Google Stadia, which for most purposes, I will say that is dead. If you're paying a subscription on Stadia, I would recommend you to save your money and put it somewhere else. Of course, as you know by now, or I hope that you know by now, Google decided to close all their first party studios for Stadia. They have committed, in a way, because they kind of have to keep the service going because this is one of the best platforms for third party developers to put their games on, said no one except someone at Stadia. If you need more clues or reasons to be assured that Stadia is done and on their way out, is the fact that a lot of their previously announced exclusive titles are going to be releasing in other platforms, meaning that these developers know for a fact that Stadia is going to close at some point. If Google didn't have that in their plans, they wouldn't be allowed to move their games to other platforms. Companies won't let you do that if they're going to stick around. The fault lies on the people who run the service, who for some reason drank some sort of weird Kool-Aid thinking that this cloud gaming thing was ready to go and it was going to be 4K and you're going to have all these things that the infrastructure in the country doesn't allow you to have. And so for them to have decided to say, hey, this is going to happen, even if there's no way to support it, it's just a blatant lie and some sort of weird belief on who knows what. Perfect example is this tweet from Imran Khan. He is a Bloomberg reporter. This is what the tweet says. So a Stadia rep once looked me dead in the eye over a video call and said, this game is only possible on Stadia because of the way the engineering worked and it could not ever, on a fundamental level, come out elsewhere. Are you for real? Fanbyte Media. Stadia's best original game, Super Bomberman R Online, will soon be coming to other platforms. This is exactly what the problem is. What year are we living in that some representative at Stadia can tell a journalist who clearly covers video games that a game is never ever going to be able to come out on anything else but Stadia because of the way the game was made? If you can run an Atari game on an Xbox, on a PlayStation, on a computer, you can run a stupid game that's going to run on Stadia. This is one of the reasons, that's why I said about drinking the Kool-Aid, that businesses fail. People just believe on their own hype and done. So let's go over the once only exclusive games that were playable on Stadia. And I'm going to be honest right now, I don't know anything about any of these games. So I'm just going to tell you the titles and show you the game, the screenshots so you can get an idea of what the game looks like. So we have Creda, or I'm assuming that's how you say it, which is available on Epic, on the Epic Game Store right now. Then we have Lost World Beyond the Page. The core gameplay hook of Lost Worlds is that you use words in your spellbook to affect the world around you. This takes the form of using a firefly to grab a word like break from your book and dragging it to a tree to knock it down to open a path. So that's going to be available on April 6th on Steam, Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch. Then we have Super Bomberman R Online. This is a 64-player battle royale game, and this is going to be available on Steam, Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch. And we have Wavebreak, which is going to be coming to Steam and Nintendo Switch. Then we have El Hijo, a Wild West Tale. This one's going to come out on March 25th on Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch. And we have Serious Sam 4 coming later this year on Xbox and PlayStation. And then we have Stacks on Stacks on Stacks, and that's going to be available on April 6th on the Nintendo Switch. So these are games that were once available only on Stadia and now are going to be available everywhere else you can play games. Stadia, Stadia, Stadia. Well, this is what happens when companies, believe in their own hype. When companies decide that their way is the only way, they're not flexible, they don't work with the time, they don't stick to realistic goals. Sadly, Stadia is one of those companies that will go into the history books. Do you know anything about these games? Have you ever heard of any of these games? Let me know in the comment section. That's it for me. Go ahead and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. Go ahead and hit that bell so you can be alerted every time we have new videos. And thank you very much for watching.